Hey and welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Academy of Witchwood. I'm sitting here and debating on how to start going on with a create workshop. Oh, I've never thought about going through this window. Okay. I just went ahead and tidied up the place over here a little bit, as you've just seen. So I created some fields, or some small patches of flowers, set up some light, and also welcome Alduin the Dragon. Welcome to my fountain. Alright. So, let's talk create. Oh, doesn't that look cool with the fog? Ah, I love it. Let's talk create. I think I want to use all this floor here to set up my create workshop. I thought about if I wanted to put classrooms in here, but I think I can utilize the space better by putting in some machines to actually showcase what magic can do instead of boring classrooms where nobody sits anyway. So let's do that. Before we start, I want to get myself a notebook or a clipboard. Clipboards can be very useful, and do ignore the exposed copper here. It is the 1st of April when I'm recording this, so everything is exposed copper or anything regarding copper. So yeah, let's use the exposed copper clipboard and note down what we need to do. So, for one, I will need to smelt things. I will need to haunt things, and to wash, and to polish, and to smoke. So that's the 4 things just to get one thing into another. I also want to create precision mechanisms. I would love to automate rose quartz. And with that, electron tubes. What else do I need? Well, some mixing, obviously, and some pressing. And I think that should be a good start. I'll probably realize half a dozen things in addition to that, but I think we can start here. And most of this I will not do the create way. So if you expected me to set up all the typical create machines here, nope. I'm playing a magic mod pack. I will stay with the magic, and let me, for now, just put the clipboard here on the wall. I will make this a little bit different, and I will use runes. So, how do I do this? Or how do I hope to do this? I haven't tried it yet. I don't know if it will work. But I want to use funnels. No, not funnels. Chutes. Especially the smart chutes. And for that I need normal chutes. Let's get a few of those. Let's get a few of those. And let's get these as well. I need some barrels. And I need some more. And I need some glass. We can make some arcane stone window. I might actually do that. My idea here is that we have a barrel, a smart chute, a normal chute a block above, and another barrel. So you can see things will drop through. And then we need to encase this space here with some glass. Something like that. And we definitely, if we don't want things to just fall through, we need to filter this barrel. Getting a filter is quite easy. We can just use some brass nuggets to get ourselves an attribute filter. And we want to set one attribute to, let's go for anything that can be smelted. We can choose can be smelted here. We can choose the opposite of that to the list. And then we have everything that cannot be smelted in here. So I can put the filter into here. And now nothing that can be smelted will go through into the copper barrel. Not the copper barrel. God dang it. No, it's 1st of April. The normal barrel. So, how do we get things to smelt in there? With a rune. And we can very easily get a rune by just using the rune effect. So first of all, I need to have a touch spell. I need a rune. I need smelt because I want to smelt things. And then I just go for, I think, pierce to get more things smelted. Or maybe I'll reduce that a little bit if I want to smelt smaller quantities. With that, I can place a rune of smelt in here. You can see there's a cooldown. I can use the arcane wrench that I have to reduce the cooldown. Let me actually set it to like 5 ticks, so it can smelt really rapidly, 4 times a second. And then I need to go ahead and use the runic chalk on that to make it permanent. Now the rune will never disappear. I paid mana once to place it down, but now it will need mana from a source jar nearby to keep going. Well, luckily enough, we do have some of our ender source jars here. I will just place one down. And if things are working as I think they will, I can put things to be smelted up in here. They will drop onto the rune. They will try to pop out, but they can't because of the glass. And as soon as they're smelted, they go down. And everything that is not smelted will stay up there. So far the theory, let's test it out. If I go for raw, I definitely need some iron. Let's get 3 stacks of iron. Put them into here. And of course I do have my magnet on. Things are ending up in here where they belong. Fantastic. And tell me whatever you want. I've never seen 3 stacks iron molten so fast. What do you think? Is that the nicest way to smelt them things? I think it is. And now I can go ahead and just replicate this exact setup 5 times. Or, yeah, 5 times. For each of the above here. We do have smelt. We can do the same for haunt, wash, polish, and smoke by just utilizing the same procedure, just not with a smelt, but instead with, for example, the polish effect here. That way we can create polish. For the wash and haunt and stuff, we can use the rune of whirl, which allows us to use water, flare, hex, or smelt to process items. To be honest, we don't need smoking or smelting in this way, because we can just use the rune of smelt for both. But we can add the washing and the haunting using this plus water or this plus hex. So if I get rid of this, move these over, you can see here it get a nice little color. And yeah, now we can wash things, or if we wanted to instead use hex to haunt processing, yeah, which allows us to get a few materials. Let me set this up and I'll be right back. And here we are with our 4 stations for smelting, haunting, washing, and polishing. So now we can go ahead, just take some, let's take some soul sand. Take some soul sand, put it into the washing, and you can see there's a little washing machine going on in there. And I had to set the cooldown of the washing and the haunting to 20 seconds, because otherwise the items would never reach the bottom to drop actually down. So yeah, you will have to think about this. And I really want to have some nicer placards up here. Aren't there actually placards? There are. But what do I do with them? So I can take a soul sand for the haunting, washing a water bucket, smelting furnace, or a blast furnace. Nah, a smart furnace fits better. And sandpaper for the I didn't want to get suspicious sand. Don't I have a mod? Yes, I do. Alright. Let's remove these in favor of those. That looks a lot better. All right. For now, this is pretty obviously very manual, but I can just dump a whole chest of whatever here on top and let it go through. Our Ender Source jar has not moved from 99% down, so I don't think there will be any issue. And with that, we can cross up the first 5, actually. The first 5 of those. For mixing and pressing, we can, for pressing, actually do the same thing as here, but I would like to test if the pressing rune actually works on a belt. So let me set this up and we'll take a look together. So, very simple test. We do have a rune of press here. I made it permanent. I do have some swords. I do have some iron ingots here on the belt. And now what happens if I move them through? Nothing. That's a shame. That is a shame. That means that we either need to go a different route for pressing and also deployer setups, or we need to change what and how cast this effect. We could, for example, well, pretty much do exactly the same setup as here for the pressing, having items drop onto the rune, getting pressed, falling through. But for a precision mechanism setup, for example, this would not be as nice. And I want to have it quite compact and, yeah, not too unnecessarily complex. Or at least not much more complex than we would need to go with base create. So let me think about this for a little bit and I'll get you back with an answer. Probably not my final design, but I do have precision mechanisms automated. And I find it quite funny. The 3 runes you see down there are all apply runes, so they're applying the items on the... Wow, okay, that didn't work. They're applying the items that are on these depots, and if that worked, yeah, it did, and then it glitched out. We do have a precision mechanism. Way! Okay, yeah, this is not ideal, but it can be done, probably, without a lot of create. I think I'll just go with the default version. Maybe I use the Starbuncle to get the items back at the beginning because I like these little buddies. But I'll probably use a belt and just 3 deployers, like you would expect. And, well, in that case, I'll probably set up another one of these for the pressing. I don't see a reason why not. Let's go with that. And with this, I extended my shoots here by a little bit. I added one for crushing. It uses the rune of obliterate to, well, replicate a crushing wheel. I have one for pressing, and I have one for mixing. In this case, not heated mixing. I probably will go ahead and actually set up normal mixers for for heated and superheated mixing, because there is no tag that says something like can be mixed or anything like that. So this one is currently purely for andesite alloy and will probably be replaced by something else. I also, just to add this crushing wheel here, created a set of mechanical crafters and the precision mechanism machine here. This one is actually really easy and really compact. You put in golden sheets over in this barrel. It runs through the 3 deployers, which are fed by the barrels above. so I don't need to add chutes and something above them. So we're just having these barrels here filtered, and all of them are using a hopper upgrade to leave the to let the items go through into the deployers. And how does it cycle? Well, it uses a brass belt funnel here that is filtered for incomplete precision mechanisms, which will go into this vault. And as this is one inventory, it will come out of the other side instantly. And, well, we're getting precision mechanisms that way. I'm using one of these corner shafts here to simplify what I need for gears a lot. I just have this one corner shaft here, as well as 3 encased chain drives. And that's really all. So, if you've built very complex machines to route mechanisms around before, this is the absolute easiest option if you can afford to get a brass belt, a funnel, a brass funnel. Which you probably can because you need deployers either way. But yes, with this we did get a good bit into the topic of Technomancy, and I think we can cross out the topic of rune smelters. Tales speak of furnaces inscribed with glyphs, where ore surrenders not to coal but to incantations. To bind industry with runes is to prove that even flame may obey the arcane. Construct a smelting system powered by spells instead of magic, bending technology and magic. Well, I do have that, and even the custom skill rewards here are copperized, however you want to call it. Let's get the Herbology one. Yeah, I think the next one we can take care of is the topic of train line, because with all of this here, creating trains shouldn't be an issue. But for now, I think I'm signing off for today. Thank you very much for watching, and again, I'm getting attacked while I'm saying bye. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm signing off. Bye bye. See you soon.